Hello, Flosstube. It is Friday, July 31st, and it's time for my July recap. I'm having to do it a day early because my youngest son and his wife are coming into town today, so I will not have time to record it this weekend. So I have my notes. I'm gonna show you just a couple of things that I finished years ago, and then I have one finish and a bunch of whips, and then we'll do plans and a little bit of haul. So that's what we're gonna go through today. My previous finishes, this is, it may have been just called Bloom. It's from Art to Heart, and it's got a bunch of buttons on it, Jabco buttons. It's so pretty. So I'm getting ready to take down, I had a couple of Patriotic previous finishes I showed you last time, so I'm getting ready to take those down, and I'll put these up. This is Surfside Cottage. I think it is Country Cottage Needleworks, if I remember right. Super cute, and neither of these have glass. I often put glass on, but neither of these do. Okay, hopefully this won't be too loud. Put those out of the way. Okay, that's all for previous finishes, and I may not have any next time. We'll see. I don't know. I had one finish, so just a teeny bit of life. My husband and I were dog sitting for about a week, and one of the dogs had surgery, so she couldn't play around. She pretty much just had to stay stationary. So she and I snuggled on the couch, and I got lots of stitching done. So I was able to finish. This one is from Hands On Design, and it's part of her Mad for Plaid series. This is the 4th of July. I did not want to stitch it on black, so I did it on Arctic, 32 count Arctic from Picture This Plus. So it's a pretty blue. It always turns out more gray in the pictures, but there it is. So I didn't finish it until after the 4th of July, so I will get it fully finished for next year, hopefully. All right, and then I had 2 new starts and 1 restart. So I had a wheel for July that was all Patriotic. And so I had 2 new starts on there, and they both got spun. One of them got spun the very first day. This is All American, sorry, trying to get it without the glare. From Primrose Cottage, and I'm doing it on 32 count Picture This Plus. And let's see, I did 412 stitches on it. So that's all I've got done. Did I say Heroic by Picture This Plus? I don't know if I actually told you the name of it. It's a warmer base than that. And I did forget to tell you how many stitches I did on the 4th of July that I finished. That was 962 stitches. All right, and then my other new start is Miss Liberty from Teresa Kogut. I saw somebody at my LNS working on this, I think, or maybe I saw it online. And she is being done on 32 count chocolate. No, that's the wrong one. I don't have a card for this, sorry. Looking at the wrong thing. This is on NAF 32 SB. I have got to get cheat sheets, but this is what I did on her. This was 612 stitches. So everything that was on my wheel, my goal was to do 500. But if I got to a good stopping point before that, or if I wanted to get to a good stopping point, then I did that. So it's not exactly 500. Especially working from paper, you know, it's hard to know when to stop. Okay, this was my restart, and I could not find a picture for this, but this is Stitching with the Housewives, 4th of July. And so I had originally started it on black, and I could not, even with good light and a white paper underneath, I could not see it. So this is charcoal from Witchelt. So I did 566 stitches on it. So it's like a mug, and there's 4th of July. I can't show you because it's just a pattern. It has 4th and a flag on top. And then there's some more stuff along the bottom with the truck. So, and then this is a mug that you fill in. So probably won't get anything more done on any of these Patriotic ones until next year. But, you know, I've got some good starts, so hopefully next year I will finish them. Although we'll see in September. We're not going to talk about September plans today. We're just going to talk about August. All right, so those were my finishes and my new starts. And then my whips, I did Wise and the Brave. And I don't have a stitch count on this because it's the 31st. I should have counted up how many I had so far. But I'll put a picture in of what this is going to look like. This is my 2026 Hayed Sal. And I don't know how many stitches I did. I'll try and remember to go back and put it in the comments after the fact. But this is on a 28 count, easy count. And I've got, look at this robin's head. I was so excited. So my goal for this is to get the 6 pages done by the end of the year so I can get all of the other stitch along. And you'll notice I started parking again. I decided to try it again. I kind of go back and forth. I'll park for a while and I'm like, no, I'm tired of all these threads getting in my way, and then I won't park. All right. The next whip I'm going to show you is Museum After Midnight. And I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is the Lola Crow stitch along for this year. I have purchased and started all of them. I have not completed any of them. Probably Extraordinary Birds from last year is the one I have the farthest along. But this is this year's Museum After Midnight, and this is on a 32 count gray magic Lugana from Be Stitch Me. And I also don't have a full stitch count on this one because I'm hoping to work on it tonight. So I'll try and put those stitch counts in the comments or in the show notes just in case anybody is interested in that. All right, then there were a couple of other smaller projects I worked on when I was dog sitting. The project I really wanted to work on was something I'll show you in plans, and I didn't have a needle I needed for it, so I couldn't work on it. So the next one I'm going to show you is Do Dragons Fly. This is hands-on design. And this was the Spring Mingle class, I think. And I am doing this on Marva's Blend from R&R. And that's where I am. I think it goes, it doesn't really matter because it's symmetrical. So this one I did 637 stitches. It's really fun. And I have to decide, so I started out this color on the inside doing 2 strands. The pattern said to use 1 strand, and I thought, oh no, not on 32 count. But then I did 1 strand here, and I do like the way that it's not so strong for those, that border. But I'm considering just leaving this one 2 strands and doing that inside 2 strands. I don't know. I figured I'd do the rest of it and then we'll see. All right, I am going to try and put these back in their bags. I pulled them all out of their bags to make it a little bit easier to show you, but just so it's not a complete mess. All right, and then the other one I worked on while I was dog sitting is Beach Quaker from Primrose Cottage. My friend Michelle and I are working on this together. She may have hers finished, but I think she did. I think she sent me a picture. She had hers finished. I'm gonna take it, I'm going to the Gathering, I think it's called Gathering Thread Retreat in a week and a half, about. And I plan to take this there. It'll be a small one to take. I am doing this on 32 count lamb's wool from Witchelt. And this is where I am. And I worked up here in this corner. I did 470 stitches. So I'll take that with me when I go to Canada for that retreat. And I get to meet Nora Corbett. I'm so excited. That's been on my bucket list for years, is to meet her. She's one of my favorite designers. Okay, then the rest of these were from the wheel spin. So you already saw the 2 new starts and the restart were from the wheel spin, and then these are the rest of the Patriotic ones from the wheel spin. So this is Celebrate 4th of July from Madame Chantilly. This thing's going to be huge. And this is on 32 count Heroic from Picture This Plus. My favorite fabric for Patriotic. And I did 501 stitches on this. So I worked, I think here, the shelf, and down there, I think. Those flowers down there. And I think I'm going to, so I had substituted an over dyed for the red. I think it's Bandana from Classic Colorworks. It'll be hard to see, I'm sure, but I do have another red, a brighter red. So I think I'm going to add some of that brighter red just in a few spots. Like I think I will use it for the U and then this and then the plant stripes. And so then I may bring out a brighter blue for a couple of things too. Because these colors are beautiful, but they are dark. They're definitely darker. The red and the blue that I picked out, they're both over dyed. So I thought, well, I could add a couple of a little bit brighter ones to it also. And so I made notes on my working copy because by the time I get this out next year, chances of me remembering that are slim. Okay. Next one I'm going to show you, this is Firework Lane from Little Stitch Girl. Oh, I better put my floss back in there. I'll be looking for that. And this is on 32 count Heroic. Imagine that. And I did 434 stitches on this one, which is the red. I had a little bit of this red done, but the rest of this, and I thought that's a good stopping place. I'm not gonna worry about getting 70 more stitches and just get a little bit on the roof done, so. And it's got some silver Krynic in the, for fireworks. Not all the fireworks are Krynic, but there's some that are that silver Krynic, which I actually have from when I kitted this up years ago, thankfully. Since Krynic can be hard to get anymore. Hopefully they'll eventually get it figured out. And then the last wheel spin, not the last one, but the last one I'm going to show you is Happy Day. This is Plum Street. And I am doing this on 32 count Eucalyptus from Fox and Rabbit. And this one, I think my net stitching was 369, but I stopped there because I kept messing up on this vine. I don't know what my problem was. I stitched that vine 3 times before I got it right. So when I got to 369 stitches left in there that I didn't rip out, I stopped. I'd had enough of it. So hopefully next year when I get this out, it will go better than it did here. All right, that is all my stitching. Yeah, that went faster than I thought. I can't tell you a total stitch count, like I said, because I haven't stitched today yet. But I can tell you that I worked on 11 projects and I stitched 30 out of 31 days, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to pause you and then I'll get my plans out, and I have a little bit of haul to show, and so I'll be back in just a second and show you that. Okay, I'm back, ready for my plan. So I'm gonna do a couple of different things this month. I still have a wheel and I've put summer projects on there, but no Patriotic. But then there are a couple of days I'm gonna do something a little bit different. So I had hoped to work on this while I was dog sitting. So this is, which one is this? Sherry's stocking from Shepherd's Bush. I did stockings for my whole family like this when my kids were little. And so my youngest son's wife, my youngest daughter-in-law wants one to go with Sam's, my son. And so I had hoped to work on this. I thought this will be big count. So if I don't have the greatest light, this is on, I think it's 18 count. 20 count. I think they were on 18 count. Now they don't have that anymore, so they're on 20 count. And you use pearl cotton, number 5 pearl cotton, and you do it over 2. So this is where I'll be starting with that. But I did not have, you have to have really big needles to work on this, and I did not have one with me. I thought there was one in my project. There was not. So I'm going to work on this every Sunday in August. We'll see what kind of progress I get and if I need to make adjustments. I would like to get it done this year, but I don't know. I did get the embellishment pack. That's hard to see. For all the little charms and stuff that go on here. And then I'll have to see if I feel confident enough to finish it into a stocking or not. So that's going to be on Sundays. I'm calling it Santa Sunday, which is not anything I came up with. Other people have done that for sure. And then I decided to do full coverage Friday. I will still, I didn't mention this, but I will still work on my Wise and the Brave every day. I had done some calculations when I got back into town. I needed to do about 150 stitches a day through August to get 4 pages done. I will be out of town for a week in August, so I'll have to readjust that when I get back from the retreat. But I found that I wasn't working on any of my other full coverage projects, so I decided I was going to do full coverage Friday. And so after I get my Wise and the Brave stitches done, then I will be working on, and I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. But this is the Grand Library, Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I don't have any details of how far I am, you know, how many I've put in. But this is on 28 count, 1/1 full cross. So hopefully I can get some good progress in on that. So that will be on Fridays. And I picked those 2 days. I generally have more time to stitch those days. So that's why I wanted to pick days that I thought I had a good chance of stitching, getting some good stitching in. I will still work on museum after midnight as I can too. So that's still in the plans. Another one that I'm hoping to start, we're supposed to start tomorrow. There's a stitch along that's starting tomorrow. Sarah Stitchery is doing it, and I can't remember who else she said. But it's the new blue flower that was in Midsummer Stitch, and I think that's the hashtag is Midsummer SAL for Stitch Along. Whoops, let me do it this way so you can actually see it the right way. So I purchased the chart at the Midsummer Stitch, and then I also got, let me pull this out of the plastic, the called for fabric, which is 32 count gray spinel from Fiber on a Whim. So I got that. And then I just picked up the last of the threads I needed today. Stopped at my LNS and got the threads. So I am all ready to start. Now we'll see with company this weekend if I get to start it tomorrow or not. But if not, I'm ready. I can start it Sunday or Monday. Well, maybe Monday. I need to work on my stocking on Sunday. So that is in my plans to start soon. And then the rest of these are on my wheel for August, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes. So as before, my plan is to work on them for 500 stitches, spin the wheel, and I don't let it repeat. I know a lot of floss tubers have been playing with, do I let it repeat? Do I not let it repeat? I don't, because I want to touch as many of these as possible in the month. So once it's spun once, it's blacked out and I don't spin it again for the month. Now, if I ever got through my wheel, then I would reset, but I haven't come close to that. So I have 12 projects, and you would think, so my goal is to stitch 500 stitches on them. And you would think in a couple of nights I could do that. And if I wasn't teaching, I also teach card making classes. I didn't even do an intro. Oh well. So if I'm not teaching a class, I have more time. But if I'm teaching a class, and I don't have as much time to stitch. So, you know, you would think I could get through each of these in 2 days, but that hasn't happened very often yet. But the first one on my wheel, and I did not spin for tomorrow, so I don't know what tomorrow's project's supposed to be. I meant to do that, but I'm filming on my phone, so I can't do it now. This is Dressmaker's Daughter from Mirabilia, Nora Corbett. And I am taking this with me when I go to the retreat. Because I want to have something to work on of hers while I'm there. And so hopefully it will get spun before I go. If not, I may go back to autumn. So here, let me show you what I have done so far. Yeah, it's kind of see-through and I don't have a board big enough. So I'll show you them individually also with the board. So there is where I am on autumn. And so if I need to, I can do some fill in here. Oops, sorry, I just shook the table. And then summer is done, except for the beading. I don't do the beading until the end. So this is summer. And then I've been working on spring, which is what, if it gets spun this month, that's what I'll work on. So I was hoping to be ready, and I might be ready on this side to start filling in, because that's good retreat stitching, is just some fill in. Now, I do have to watch still because there are beads in this too. So I have to be sure I skip spots for the beads. But that is one that's on my wheel for August. And again, I'll take it with me to the retreat. All right. Okay. Next one on my wheel is, I think this is Nature's Journey. And I'll have to put a picture in of what it's going to look like. A lot of Flosstubers have been working on this. Oh, I better put my card. Oh, I didn't even tell you. Dressmaker's Daughter is being worked on the called for fabric, which is 32 count milk chocolate. I think that's Witchell's. Got the wrong card in there. This is Nature's Journey. This is from Sprouting Lupine, and it was in the Just Cross Stitch magazines last year, I believe. And I have not gotten too far. I've got a lot of spring done, and I did do a little bit of winter. I had it on the wheel in winter and worked on it a little bit then. This is on 32 count vellum from Picture This Plus. And so when it gets spun, I'll probably work on spring, summer, although I may just finish up spring. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like when it gets spun, if it gets spun. Yeah, for July, there were several Patriotic ones that didn't get spun at all, and I was really disappointed. One Nation was one of those from Bygone Stitches, and I hadn't worked on that in a long time. So I really would have loved to have had that one come up on the wheel, but it did not. All right, hang on, let me get a drink real quick. Okay, next on the wheel is Well Rounded. This is a whole series from Kathy at Hands On Design, and I got the whole kit years ago. I don't even know when. And this is probably, I think I decided this was Chocolate Milk, the summer one. And so I just have a start. I think it's this top one, which I don't know if you'll be able to see very well on. I think it's this top one. So I'm hoping that will get spun. I haven't worked on it again for quite a while either. So hopefully that will get spun. All right, that one's just gonna get set aside. And then another one I haven't worked on in a long time, and I have all of these, and I have the board to finish them on. This is Calendar Crates August. Now I'm not doing it on black. I'm doing it on 32 count Baltic green, or 30 count, sorry. Oh, I wrote down 32. It says 30 on here, so I guess it's 30 count. So that's my start on that one. I'll have to see what that will mean for the size of it if it's on 30 count. I used to do a lot of work on 30 count instead of 32. And then 30 count got hard to find, and I got used to working on 32. Okay, Next is on the wheel is Bord de Mer. And I did work on this, I think in June. So you have seen this one not too long ago by Madame Lefay. And I'm doing this on 32 count Misty Rain from Lakeside. So here is where this one is. And I've got that lantern, I think, pretty much done too. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good job of showing these today. So last time I worked in here and started the seagull, so I'll finish that seagull if it gets spun, and then see what's next. This is one I have, our guest bathroom has like ocean themed, and that's what I want to put it in there. And it doesn't get used very often, so I'm not like worried. It's not like it's only if we have company that the shower ever gets used, so I'm not worried about it being too moist in there or anything. All right, next on my wheel is On the Beach. This is Emma Congdon Stitch Rovia. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And this is on 32 count Fog from Picture This Plus. And I haven't worked on this one in a long time either. This is where I am with it. And it has a lot of stitches. I don't have my tablet right here to tell you how many total, but at the bottom you'll have seen on the picture there's a bunch of water that's just completely solid stitching. So this will definitely not get done this year. But it'll be nice if I can get some more work into it. All right. Next on my wheel is a new start. And I know Sarah Stitchery has worked on these, and she's the reason I picked this fabric. But it's Hoot Vibes Only from Barbara Anna, and I'll have to put a picture in of them. They're 3 different ones. Sorry, this is really crinkly. Let me just pull this fabric out real quick. So she's doing hers, and I think I'm going to do mine as separate. I need to sit down and I calculated how big each one is. And I'm hoping I can get them on this fat quarter of Jamie's kilt. I always say quilt. Jamie's Kilt from Hand Dyed by Stephanie. That's what Sarah's doing hers on, and they really look good on there. The colors just really look good. So I looked, and I had been in her Fabric of the Month club for a while. And I had a fat quarter of that. And so that is Sarah's fault, and this bag is new. It's also Sarah's fault. This is from Michelle Lee Quilts. And she kept talking about them. And so I finally went online to look, and she had a purple one, and purple is my favorite color, so I had to have it. So that whole thing is Sarah's fault. Okay, next on my wheel is Season's Dreams. So I finished spring, so I'm going to start summer. These are also by Barbara Anna. I didn't realize I'd be 2 Barbara Annas. I don't care. So I'll put a picture in of what summer is going to look like, and I'm doing them on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. So I really hope that one gets spun, because I would like to get that started. I'll have to figure out what I'm taking with me. Not take too many since I'm flying. When I'm driving to Tulsa, it's not a problem. I can load up my car and have however many I want. All right, this one I probably will take with me because I need to get it finished. I went to the Tiny Modernist thing at Tulsa. When was it? In May, I think it was in May. And I have everything done except for this last beach hut. So I need to finish it. I think I showed you when we came back from that we were gonna put ours on a board. And so, and the Shepherd's Needle, Silver Needle, sorry, Shepherd's Needle is my LNS. Silver Needle is in Tulsa. They provided the fabric, and I can't remember what it's called. I've used it before, but I can't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember. And I don't think I have, it's in there somewhere, but I'm not going to dig through and find that. But I have a teeny tiny start on this, so that will probably go with me to the retreat because I need to get that done. And then that was 11 whips, and I'm like, I don't want to have 11. I want to have 12 on my board. So I pulled out one that's not a seasonal one at all, because I have some that are not seasonal and they'll never get stitched if I don't add them somewhere. So this is Aquamarine from Carolyn Manning. And I'm doing the big one, of course. And this is on 32 count Artichoke from Witchelt. And this is my starting point. So that'll be fun. Hopefully that will get called. I'm just gonna have to work really hard so I can get all these spins completed and I can keep spinning. So I can work on all of those. So that is everything I have planned for August. I have a little bit of stash, so I'm gonna lean over and grab it real quick. I think I'm on my dining room table, so things are spread out. So I have a little bit of stash. These just came today. So these are bags from the Stitcher's bag, and she's actually local to me. She comes to our stitch days, but this is the first one. This is blue paisley, but I like them because they're a little bit bigger than some of the average ones you get. And then I don't remember what's, oh yeah, pretty green on the inside. So I don't know what's going to go in that one yet. This one is going, this is another one I got from her. And on the inside of it is a deep green. And this is the one I'm going to put the new blue flower that I'm starting is going to go in that. And then I had an order from, a small order from 123 Stitch. I had picked up the winter one of these at Silver Needle when I was there in May. And I saw this one online. I was like, oh, I have to have the set. I don't know if there's any more out yet, but I have winter and now spring. And then a new Mirabilia that I hadn't gotten yet. And I have the two new Nora Corbett's, the smaller ones. They weren't available yet, so they haven't come, but I ordered them, so they should be coming. And then I'm in the, what do they call this? A little help from our friends. It's a circle through Shepherd's, through Silver Needle. Their names are too similar. They're both great shops. This is a little help from our friend Stitching Circle. And they've already announced who's going to be in it next year. I'm going to try and resist because I've been doing this for quite a few years and I haven't stitched any of them yet. It's not because I don't want to, I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So this is the chart we got for this time from Plum Street. I love it. They gave us 2 fabric options, or 2 full kits really. So let's see, they told us, let's see, on a natural, okay, so they gave us a natural linen, and I think it might be, I don't know if it's 32 or 36. I guess the other one is 36, so this may also be 36. But a full kit for the natural, and then a full kit on, and this is Arboreal, that's from Cedar River, and it's 36 count, sorry. It's very glary. So I think I want to try, I've never stitched on a Cedar River linen, so I think I may want to try that. But if I find that I can't stitch on the green, I've got it back up whenever I get around to stitching this. And they did give us their, the events for next year. So, yeah, so my friend Michelle and I will have to figure out what we're doing next year for retreats. Okay. that is it. Oh, not bad at all. Only 34 minutes. I went through that pretty quickly. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining me. I forgot to welcome you at the beginning. And I also forgot to mention on my channel, you will find both card making and cross stitch. So if it's Flosstube, it's cross stitch. If it says Facebook Live or Paper Pumpkin, that's my card making side. I didn't want to create two channels, so they both live on this one. And I will be back 1st of September, end of August, to show you what I accomplished in August. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye.